Right, okay. So, very, very interesting times that we're living in. And sorry guys, just bear with me. Um, okay. Okay, four people on, that's good. Um, right, let me know in the comments if it's any of the regulars. Hi guys, how are you? Um, well, I think it's been a tumultuous week for me personally, as well as what's happening politically, and um, I think I think we're at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads, and I feel I'm at a personal crossroads, and I think the country's at a crossroads as well. Many of you will have seen the live stream I jumped on with Paul last night and again today, and um, I think we're in grave danger. I've gone from the elation of where we were last Saturday after the Advance UK conference to pretty much despondency. And I'm just going to be honest, okay? I'm just going to be honest. Now, um, I will reiterate this when I'm saying what I'm saying tonight. None of what I say is a criticism of Ben Habib or the other leadership of Advance UK. I think they have played a straight bat. They have been completely honourable in everything they've done, and that's why I'm so annoyed, and I still am annoyed and spitting blood at what those. Well, I'm trying to bite my tongue a little bit. In fact, I'm not going to bite my tongue. I'm absolutely disgusted with the way Restore Britain and the people around Rupert Lowe and Rupert himself have behaved. I think they've been dismissive and condescending to Ben and every single member of Advance UK. They're really, in my opinion, doing what Reform's done. You know, they are creating. In my opinion. Now, this is just my humble opinion. Okay, they are creating a new right wing elite. These people, from what I can tell, have no interest in us, the working class. And if you're in Northern Ireland, if you're in Northern Ireland, as far as I can see, and again, unless I'm missing something, and if I'm missing something, please let me know in the comments if I'm missing something. I live in Northern Ireland. There are a lot of Advance UK members in Northern Ireland. Okay, and from what I can see, Restore Britain, they don't even mention the UK, so they're not interested in Northern Ireland. I've never heard Rupert Lowe discuss Northern Ireland. I don't even know if he could show someone Belfast or Bangor or Portadown or Limavady on the map. Ben Habib's completely the opposite. Now, Ben has very graciously reached out the hand of camaraderie, of brotherhood, of fellowship. He's reached out that right hand to Rupert Lowe on numerous occasions. I think on 3 occasions now. Every time he's done it, it's been rebuffed. And now, obviously, Ben made his video today suggesting a merger. I am not happy with that. I'll be honest with you. I trust Ben, so I'm going to trust that Ben has a plan. But I personally do not think. I think one Rupert Lowe's quite an old man. He's 67. He's 10 years older than me, so it's not that old. But there's a big difference between 67 and 60, and 67 and 57. You know, things start dropping off. So he's not going to be in politics for very long. People like Trump are outliers. They're very unusual. I'd be very surprised if Rupert Lowe's still doing politics in the way Trump's doing it when he's 80 years old or 79. 10 years. I'd be extremely surprised, no matter how fit he is. Once you get past 65, that's why people used to get put out for retirement at 65. Of course, that's going up all the time. Anyway, I don't think Rupert's going to be hanging about. So you're going to have the young gun ethnonats running that party, or running the the leadership team of that party. That's why they're there, because they're ambitious, because they're power hungry. And I've watched these guys and I know what they're at, what I think they're at anyway. So, in my opinion, my humble opinion, it is only my humble opinion. By the way, I think what Rupert Lowe did with the rape gang inquiry, again, I know people that were involved in that. And I think he, from all accounts, that he did a great job with that. From hearing from people that were heavily involved in it. So, yeah, he's done a good job on that, no doubt about it. But I want to look at some other things that Rupert Lowe hasn't done such a good job on. Now, as Christians, many people on this, many people involved in this might not know, but Rupert Lowe, many of us are Christians. Rupert Lowe voted for the assisted dying bill. And he went to his constituents and he said, what do you want? Do I vote for it or not? So he had a little ballot. Now that shows that he doesn't have any conviction. Because something like assisted dying, if you're a Christian, you can't vote for assisted dying. And I understand the arguments for assisted dying. I mean, I've seen friends of mine die horrible, agonizing deaths of cancer. I've seen friends of mine and family stricken down with dementia and neurological diseases. Horrible. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, some of the deaths that I've seen people die. But the reality is that there has always got to be a respect for human life and the sanctity of human life. And once you've lost that, you've lost everything. Rupert Lowe voted for that. Like I've already said, Restore Britain has very little interest in Northern Ireland. Very little interest in Northern Ireland. Ben has continually offered Rupert either the leadership or positions in advance. He just said you can be the leader. He said that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was. And again, Rupert doesn't even bother to respond. So I have very grave concerns. And then the ethno-nationalism of a lot of the head shed around there. Very, very grave concerns over that. So they're to me, they're big issues, especially the Northern Ireland issue. And I think the leadership of Advance UK need to tread very, very carefully in any talks they have with Restore Britain. And my red lines are these. Not that it matters, because I'm just a little lowly member of the party, right? But my red lines are these. Northern Ireland. What is their position on Northern Ireland? The structure of the party. You know, there's not everything in Advance UK is perfect. There's no perfect political party out there. But the ideology and the structure and the leadership of Advance UK, I totally trust. I don't trust Restore because I've seen them to be duplicitous and arrogant and dismissive and condescending. So I don't trust them, and I don't really want to be have anything to do with them. Ethno-nationalism. It's a total red line for me. I will not ever have anything to do with anyone who is an ethno-nat in politics. I just will not. I won't break bread with them. I won't sit with them. I want nothing to do with it. It's totally against everything I believe. Because I am in the camp which Ben spoke about at the Advance gathering. And that was an amazing gathering. I talk about from high to low. Okay? I'm going to put my glasses on and read. I'm probably going to get triggered when I read some of these comments anyway. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care what people think about what I'm saying because there's too much at stake here. If we don't get this right, okay? If we don't get this right, our country will descend into chaos, I believe, like it's never seen before. We face one main threat in this country to social cohesion, and it's the threat of Islamic radicals. That's the main threat that we face. Okay? Simple as that. Nothing else. These people that want to impose Sharia law, they may only make I mean, people say they make up like 3, 4, 5%. That's nonsense. I think there's probably about 10% of the population, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think the demographers are deliberately underestimating the number of Muslims in our country. It's my opinion. Got a right to it. I'm very despondent, guys. I am so despondent about the course of this country, and I hope that the leadership of Advance UK do the right thing and hold the line, and do not, just for the sake of expediency, go into any old deal with Restore Britain, because that would be a disaster. That would be a disaster for the country and for everybody in the country. And I, like I say, I trust Ben and I trust the others in leadership in Advance UK not to do that. But if they do, if there is a sort of dropping of the pants, so to speak, to Restore Britain by Advance UK's leadership, it'll be almost as bad as what Rupert's done, to be honest with you. I don't think they will. I trust them. But my red lines: Northern Ireland, ethno-nationalism, the structure of the party, and making sure that, I mean, I'll be honest with you, unless it looks exactly like Advance UK with the same leaders, I'm not really that interested. Let's have a look at some of these things. I'm probably going to get triggered here by looking at these, but let's have a little look. Barely read them. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. If this goes the wrong way, and I'm not being petulant, I'm really not, because we've worked on the political philosophy that's led to Advance UK since 2017. That's nearly 10 years. Okay, that's how long we've been looking at these mission statements. That's how long we've been looking at things. And my question is, what is Restore Britain's political philosophy? Seems to be pretty much, copied from what Advance UK is doing. Of course, they threw in halal and kosher, and that's another story. I'm not going to even bother getting into that tonight. By the way, I believe halal food should be banned. Kosher is such a small percentage of the food that we eat, and you would know about it. You'd know if you were eating kosher food. On the whole, whereas halal is in almost every restaurant. Okay, excuse me. But if it goes wrong, I'm leaving politics, guys. I'm telling you that here and now. I am leaving. Tish, I am absolutely disgusted. I am absolutely disgusted. Just bear with me, guys. I'm going to just turn my heater off because it's getting a bit warm here. I'm going to I believe ethno-nationalism is not just, it's morally wrong, okay? I believe it's absolutely morally wrong to discriminate against someone on the grounds of the skin colour. That's why I'm so much against identity politics, from the right or from the left. I think it's disgusting. And that in no way takes away from my pride in being English, my pride in serving my country, my pride in the Union flag. I am a proud, patriotic Brit. I love the country. I think there's far too much immigration. I think there need to be mass deportations, specifically of jihadists, rape gangs, migrant criminals, anyone who came here illegally, and people who have either overstayed the visas, etc. That's everything that was in Advance UK's immigration policy and cultural policy. I absolutely agree with, and I think we should add halal in there as well, without a shadow of a doubt. But I agree with everything that Advance UK said on immigration just last Saturday. And I mean, my goodness, a week's a long time in politics, isn't it? Last Saturday we were literally pushing the boundaries of British politics, massive buzz in the auditorium, and now we're talking about merging with people who treat us with contempt. I'm just saying, guys, like I say, I trust Ben and the leadership of Advance UK to do the right thing. But I am going to say this, that I know there are a lot of people in our party who are not happy about going into any deal with Restore that it does not retain the ethos and the integrity that Ben and others in leadership have brought to politics. So, you know, it can't. This cannot be something that is done lightly, and it won't be. It won't be. But I honestly, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm very concerned about it. I'm very concerned about it, and I am gutted, Nissan Dory. I am absolutely gutted about this. And look, sometimes you're going through sort of tumult in your own life, and then you're going through tumult, in you see the political thing, and you go, why? What have I just wasted 10 years of my life? 10 years of my life I've been at this, and I'm just being honest, guys. I'm just, if this goes the way it could go, and it's a takeover, a hostile takeover, pretty much by Restore Britain, I'm done. I'm done. There you go. Do you know what, Sam? Thanks for putting that in there. Yeah, thanks for putting that in there, Sam. Thank you so much for that. Because do you know what? I made a decision not to watch Connor Tomlinson tonight. I absolutely despise what he stands for, because he is an ethnonat. I've read all his stuff. I've watched all his videos. He told me to my face all political parties engage in identity politics. Well, guess what? Advance UK doesn't and didn't. Okay, so I'm not gonna stand for a second with ethnonats, and that's a deal breaker for me, and I hope it is for everybody else in Advance UK. That it's an absolute deal breaker. And I think everybody. I don't know how anybody can even, when you look at what Rupert and these people around him have done, I don't know how anyone can even consider actually working with these people. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. And again, that's not an attack on Ben, because Ben has to do this. Ben has to do this. Ben has to reach out the hand. But we'll see what happens. And somebody very wise said to me, and do you know what? I want you to go away and think about this, right? I want you to go away and think about this. But a very wise sage said to me, the British people are getting the politicians that they deserve. And I think we need to think long and hard about that. Annabelle, they haven't merged yet. But yeah, I'm with you, Oliver. I'm with you. Well, I'm not all over the place. I'm extremely disappointed. Exactly. I mean, Ben said that tonight. Rupert Lowe owns all the shares. Rupert Lowe is going to be the dictator in chief. And the thing is, what Freeman Union? On what basis? Could you just let me know in the comments? You've just said Rupert is the new Churchill. How is he the new Churchill? Tell me what he's done. He's done one term as an MP. He's never held high office. He's never been in the military, as far as I know. So Freeman Kuhn, I'm not having a go, mate, but just tell me why he is the new Churchill. Because I'm at the stage now where I'm going, do you know what? I don't care who I upset or who I really annoy, because yeah, I know. Do you know what? Let go for a while. It's been over. Do you know? I'll be honest with you. I have had an absolutely horrendous few days. Okay, I'm not gonna go into any details, but I'm yeah, I've just had a pretty horrendous 3 days. So I'd appreciate your prayer, Jane. To be honest with you, we've all got a lot of decisions to make, and one of my decisions will be, I am very close to standing completely away from politics for good. I've tried UKIP twice. First time we were totally betrayed by the head shed in UKIP, as far as I'm concerned. Second time, it was just at the Nick Tenconi show. You know what? I'm just going to be honest now, guys, because I'm done with this. I'm done with playing silly little games and trying to please people. I don't care what people think of me. Um, Tom Roberts, I think we read that, but yeah, thanks for that, Tom. The problem is, Wano, mate, I think from what I can gather, um, it's going to be Rupert's terms or it's going to be the highway, and that's what I'm saying. Ben is doing the right thing, reaching out. Ben is doing the right thing, reaching out, but it cannot be as a junior partner or advanced getting swallowed up. I'm done with that. I will not. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into that. If it's swallowed up by a dictatorial, ethnonat dominated, um, elitist, you know, oh boys, I tell you what, boys and girls, I am absolutely at the end of my rope with all this. And we all know how much we've all put into this, yeah? And I've got a lot of criticism for what I said about what I said about Rupert and the people around him. I just speak my mind, guys. I was talked into backing reform for England. Obviously, I was never going to vote for reform in Northern Ireland because I didn't even bother to organise here. No doubt Restore won't either. But I reluctantly suggested that people vote for reform in the last general election, and I think that was a big mistake. I think it would have been far better. This is going to sound crazy because I hate the Tories, but I think the country would have been far better with a hung parliament now than with these absolute lunatics that are in power. Okay. Um, yeah. Wano, mate, listen, I get where you're coming from. I don't know if you're a bloke or a girl, but Wano, I get where you're coming from, but I've seen too much in the last 10 years to be enthusiastic about this, and I know what's going on. I'm not stupid. Yeah, I agree with that, Angelica, 100%. The college would have to stay. The constitution to me would have to stay. The leadership would have to stay. Um, you know, to me, absolutely, it's Advanced UK. Wano, bless you. Thanks for that. Um, no, thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate that, Wano. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. No, I know everyone on here is with me. I'm going to get back to the word tomorrow. I mean, I think I said this a few weeks ago that I had a lot of decisions to make about the direction I go with the channels. Because again, there's a responsibility to all you guys as well, and I just haven't, honestly, the way things have been, I've just been very, very busy, and there's been a lot of stuff going on, and I just haven't had the chance to do the Bible readings. I've been exhausted, I've been tired, and I was away on business, and I was away at Advance last Saturday, and there's been loads of other stuff going on in between. So I have just not been at the races. So I've got some decisions to make, whether I stay in politics or whether I just completely leave it behind and just say, curse on all your houses. I tried, and I did my best. I've done my best to make this work. I'm going to wait to see what happens with this idea of Ben speaking to Rupert Lowe, but I don't trust them. It's as simple as that. I do not trust them. I trust Ben. I trust David Rhodes. I trust Richard Thompson. I trust the rest of the leadership of Advance 100%. Definitely trust them, but I don't trust these other people. I just don't trust them. Is what guy Jewish? Who's that addressed to? Just let me know in the comments. Um, And why is it relevant if anybody's Jewish? Why does that matter? Just let me know if you're talking to me. Absolutely, Anthony. 100% with you on that. I mean, think about this, guys, right? We're in a situation now where Tommy Robinson, right, has had to leave the UK. Think about this. ISIS threat. ISIS, as far as I know, it's ISIS-K, ISIS in Khorasan. Now, if you know anything about Khorasan, it is basically an area in to the east, right? To the east of Syria, Iraq, and it's the area of, Afghanistan, Pakistan, the east of Iran, and ISIS-K. That's their heartland. ISIS-K are so extreme that they fight the Taliban because the Taliban aren't extreme enough for them, right? And these people, these dogs, these vile, disgusting jihadi dogs, have threatened my friend and the friend of this country, Tommy Robinson. Not one politician that I know of has spoken up about this. Not one. Not one. Now, I think if Ben knew about it, Ben would speak about it. I'm sure he would. But not one politician, not one mainstream media outlet that I know of has covered this story. The most prominent political activist in the UK, right, has had to leave the UK because of a death threat from the most radical Islamist terrorist group on the planet. And nobody's saying a word about it. Nobody's saying... Haven't heard Rupert saying anything about it. Haven't heard Conor Tomlinson saying anything about it. Haven't heard any of their headshed saying anything about it. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of those people, Tommy is an inconvenient truth that they don't really want to be anywhere near them. Okay, that's what I mean. As far as I know, Rupert Lowe has never engaged with Tommy. Never engaged with Tommy. Jane, I will play us out on that. Jane, I will play us out on that. I'm doing this. This is purely political tonight, but I will play out on that song because it's a really important song for sure. But I like to say, Jane, I mean, I would say very soon, this could be my last hurrah. I genuinely believed that Advance UK, and I still believe that Advance UK could be the answer. But I think what's going on at the minute is disgusting and despicable. And yeah, absolutely stand up for the UK. It's wrong, isn't it? It's wrong, brother. Tommy's the reason most of us are here. Absolutely. Absolutely right, It is. I'm not angry, honestly, you'll know. I mean, anyone that knows my channel knows when. Okay, let's look at this. High treason. Britain is occupied by Zionism and sold out to the US. Treachery and treason, mate. Do you know what? I can't be bothered with that sort of garbage. So do you know what I'm going to do with you? I'm going to just ban you from the channel because. Yeah, I'm sick of all this garbage of talking about Zionism. And you see, that's what the ethno-nats are all into because they're all getting the little tails in the air, and they're all getting brave because they think they've got a political champion in Rupert Lowe. Steve Laws did a post, I think it was today or yesterday, saying Rupert's our guy. Rupert's our guy. Rupert's my leader. Yeah. So... Annabella, who knows what goes on in these guys' head? Who knows what goes on in these guys' heads? No, I'm not a dispensationalist, not at all, not in the least bit. I just believe that if we're going to get down to some Christian stuff, I just believe that God still has a plan for the Jewish people, because of Romans. Let's see, 9, 10, and 11. If you go and read Romans 9, 10, and 11, I don't see how anyone can not believe that God has a plan for the Jewish people. And then if you look at many of the verses in Ezekiel, Zechariah, even the promises in the book of Genesis, it's very, very plain to see that God has promised that land, that specific geographical strip of land, to the Jewish people. Okay. Well, that hasn't happened either. Ben hasn't handed advance over to him. If that had happened, I wouldn't even be talking about politics. Because if that does happen, I'll be gone. I'm not going to play those games. Yeah, if all this goes, I'm not bothering with politics. I'll just vote with what I feel. It's election time. I'm going to concentrate on God and my music and fitness. Absolutely, I'm with you, brother. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same, and maybe that's what this is driving us to. Maybe that's what this is driving us to, because yeah, well, Ben is not handing advance over to. That's just not true, and the reason I know it's not true because I spoke to Ben this morning, and that's not what Ben's doing at all. He is trying to see if he can bring people together, which is what he should do. And that's why I respect Ben so much. Dear. We all need to pray big time. Trust me, we will win in the end. Britain has never failed. Glenn, you know what? There's no guarantee that we'll win. There's absolutely no guarantee that we'll win. Yeah, I think we've got to really. Yeah. Honestly, guys, I am absolutely despondent today. I really am. I really am. No, I don't think so, Romans. I would. Well, if that's the case, then Ben's a very good actor, and I don't believe that. Yeah, I mean, this is the whole. Listen. This is the whole thing. This is what we must not forget. We have 40,000 members in a real political party that's making real policy, standing in elections. I can't express how disgusted I am in Rupert Lowe, to be honest with you. I just cannot express it. And I'm actually hoping, in a way, I know this is going to sound really bad and people are going to get even more angry. Yes, please do. I don't know if you're on both, Kelly. Um, I mean, do you know what? I'm not. If people are giving me grief in the chat, I don't really care because they're just idiots, and I'm just going to ignore them anyway. So, um, I just I'm not really interested if people are being arseholes that do what they want. I'm not interested. Really not. Um, yeah, absolutely, Helen. You're absolutely right. Look, we're going to get back to the Christian stuff next week. Um, I let it slip because I was just exhausted. To be honest with you, I was absolutely exhausted, and I just couldn't do what I was trying to do. There was just too much going on. I mean, there we are, like 12:30, or half 12 on a Sunday morning, and do you know what? Last year, yeah. But here's the thing. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, Farty Pants. That's exactly what we've got to do. But honestly, if this goes the wrong way, okay, if this goes the wrong way, then I'm done with it. I will not be political anymore, and and that really pains me because and the problem is with that. If we don't have politics anymore, all we've got is war. Simple as that. If we don't have politics, all we've got to look forward to is conflict, because we are going to get absolutely hammered. And the other thing is this idea of the ethno-nationalism. Ethno-nationalism will never work. It will not work because we have a very, very large immigrant community going back to the 1950s in our country. Okay? Now, we all know that the system has been completely taken advantage of. In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it was totally manageable. The number of migrants coming in was manageable. Apart from the Muslims, most of them integrated. In fact, everybody integrated apart from the Muslims. So, and some of the Muslims did integrate, but a majority didn't. So, when it comes to where we are in terms of ethno-nationalism, so this is my question to the ethno-nats: are you gonna start deporting Sikhs, Black Christians, Catholics from the Philippines who are doing a great job working, in care homes and so on and so forth? Are you going to start deporting Chinese Christians that came after after Hong Kong was betrayed? Just what's your plan, guys? Because to me, the only demographic that we have to worry about in terms of immigration is the crazy Islamist nut jobs that want to take over our country. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. But the ethno-nats that are saying that people, and as far as I know, again, if I'm wrong on this, I'll apologise 100%. Oh man. The whole team surrounding Lowe are total ethno-nats. Many who said not native should be in. Yep. Absolutely. 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 Totally agree. Tom Roberts, you are 100% on the money, my friend. 100% on the money. Ah, yeah. Yes, it's not true that Ben is handing Vance over. I don't know why so many people have taken that from his message. It's about working together somehow. The election is not tomorrow. I really, really do think that Francis, that's a great point. That's a great point. The concept of the college is the reason I was a very early member of Advance. No, mate, honestly, do you know what, DA? I don't care if people give me grief. I'm a big boy. I genuinely, some idiot giving me grief in the comments on my channel. I don't give two hoots, you know. And if they come to the door, they'll get a punch in the face. Okay, Ben's doing the right thing, Richard. You need to be doing the same thing. Well, I am doing the same thing. Sorry, I don't even understand that. I don't even understand that statement. Have you listened to this podcast, Cal? I don't know. Have you listened to what I've said for the last 37 minutes? Because I said Ben's doing the right thing. What I'm concerned about is what that right thing looks like. And what I am doing is saying we need to make sure that whatever happens, it is not a surrender. I'd be honest with you, I actually can't. I don't see how we can work with ethno-nats. Let me just put it to you straight. Okay? I know people are saying the policy is the same. I don't think the policies will be the same. The fact that they went after Jewish people with the kosher stuff, talk about Restore Britain. Now, I get people don't like ritual slaughter because of animal rights reasons. I don't like it for a different reason. I don't like being forced to eat halal food that has had a prayer prayed over it to an Islamic demon. Okay? That's what I object to. Anyway. You have a right to be angry, Richard. I feel your frustration, mate. You're a great man. Please take some time off now. It's so important to step back when you're feeling this way. Yeah, I mean, look, no, I mean, look, I've the reality is for me, before we got Advance UK, well, actually, what happened was we had when the anti-Semitic marches, hate marches started. By the way, guys, thanks for these super chats. They're massively appreciated. Richard, the more things that are up in the air, the more I believe we are close to the tribulation. Well, that's, yeah, I would agree with that too. I'm certainly going through tribulation at the minute. All I can do is what you guys started. Continue changing the culture, changing politics, even more. I will not endorse ethno. No, absolutely, brother. Thank you so much for that great comment. Great comment. Really, really good stuff. The college is a great idea. I was skeptical about the college at the beginning. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that one. Look, I've got a lot of soul searching to do. I've started a new channel. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's a little self-defense channel for the over 50s called The Science of Violence. There's going to be a lot more on it than that. But at the minute, it's kind of self-defense stuff. So if you go onto YouTube, just type in The Silence of Violence. There's three videos on there. They're a bit of fun. Me and my mate that I did martial arts with years ago, just showing some very, very basic self-defense techniques. So I'm gonna spend time on that. I'm gonna spend more time on the spiritual side of things, and I think I'll probably do and up until we know what's happening with Restore and Advance. I'll do a couple of a couple of political videos a week maybe. But I'm not gonna engage in this, unless we get a good resolution. We get a good resolution because that's what we need. Well, James, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's all about the country, isn't it? Yeah, I agree with that, Jane. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, this is the other thing. You know, oh, there's my old mate, Mickey. How are you, man? Yeah, God bless you, Farty Pants, man. God bless you. Yeah. Yeah, do you know what, Jane? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And do you know what? Here's the thing, right? Excuse me about this community. We've got loads of people on tonight, which is great. Look, it's half past. It's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. There's still 500 people looking at this stuff. This community that we built, and I'm going to say we. I mean everybody that's in the comments on a regular basis. You all know who you are. There's too many to name, but Jane, there's one of them. Farty Pants is one of them. Um, CO2 lads, another. Restoring, they're always on. Wano, I haven't seen you before, Wano, but you're a good guy. Here's my friend. Completely sympathise with your frustration, Richard. You were the one who spent all that effort on the pledge. Advances based on the pledge. We can't just. Well, Guardian Mode. I saw your video earlier on, mate, and I thought it was fantastic. And of course, I've still got your interview. I mean, this is how busy I was last week. I was like, I came back on Sunday, so I was knackered on Monday, and then I was back into you know back into making videos, doing a bit of work. Then I had a trade show for my business on Thursday, Friday in London. So my week's been absolutely wrote off. And then this happened yesterday. I'm just like, oh man, So okay, yeah, get Jane. Thanks so much for that, by the way. Stand up for UK. Thanks so much for that, mate. That's massively, massively appreciated. Um, yeah. So look, I mean, I think we've got to suck it and see. Like you say, I trust Ben. I trust the leadership of Advance UK. But what we do need is some clarity on Northern Ireland. What are the red lines going to be? Um, and I'm going to speak to Ben again on Monday. There was a lot of people in Northern Ireland. We've got a group in the town where I live in Bangor. A lot of members in that group. It's set up for Advance UK, asking what the hell is going on, you know, and we need to know what's this Ramadan lights again. And see, here's the thing, right? How can we have a situation now? If the Muslim population of the UK is as small as people say it is, right? They say it's something like, let's have a look. Let's ask one of these wonderful AI bots, what the Muslim population of the UK is at the minute. Yeah, let's just ask them. What is the Muslim population in the UK? Okay, yeah. So this is what we're being told by official figures. Okay, it's kind of based on the 2021 census data, which I think was just before the Boris wave really broke all over our shores. Okay, and we're being told that there's 4.4 million Muslims in the UK. They represent 6% to 6.4% of the total population. I don't believe it. I think it's more than that. I think it's going to be somewhere nearer 10 million. That's what I believe. Could I be wrong? Yes, of course I could be wrong. But that's what I believe. Okay. Now, in 2001, it was 2.7%. Now, remember, we still had Muslims from the UK travelling abroad in the early 2000s to go and commit jihadi attacks all over the world. We had it in the 70s and the 80s, for goodness sake. When Afghanistan kicked off, we had people going and leaving from the UK, Muslims leaving from the UK and going getting involved in jihad. In the 90s, that's when London became called Londonistan, because so many of these crazy, backward, goat herding. I was going to say something else about goats there, but I thought better not. These backward, dreadful people came to the UK in the 90s and set up their little terror cells and their radical groups all over London, to an extent that the French police called London Londonistan. You know, and we put a banner. You won't believe this. This is true, right? This is absolute truth, right? We designed a banner, okay, for the demo that we did to, I believe it was Parliament Square, right? And the banner said something like, "This is London, not Londonistan." And it had a picture of Sadiq Khan on it, okay? And the police came up to me and told me that we were being investigated for our banner. At which point I said to the policeman that said that they were investigating the banner, says, "Let me save you guys a big job, because if you take this investigation any further, right, you're going to look very stupid." And he said, "Why is that, Richard?" I said, "I'll tell you why." This was one of the police liaisons, nice guy, police liaison, came and told me that we were being investigated because of our banner. After the march in whenever it was, June 2024, I think it was, wasn't it? So when I spoke to him, and he questioned me about this, he said, "Why did you say Londonistan?" Says, "Because Londonistan is a book written by a Jewess called Melanie Phillips. It's a published work. So how are you going to sue us for having the name of a book on a banner on a march that is about uniting the kingdom, and how these groups that have come to London to set up shop with their extremism are dividing the kingdom?" I says, "How's that court case going to go?" And of course, we never heard any more about it. Never heard another dicky bird about it. Okay, so anyway, right. I promised that I would play. Do you know what I'm going to play first? Actually, tell you what I'm going to play first. I'm going to play "Where Are the Men of England" first, and then I'm going to play a Christian song. Okay, because we need something to give us a flipping morale boost. Yeah, there we go.
Those heroes brave and bold, where are the men who bled and died in foreign wars untold? The men who conquered all and stood for faith and love, the men who looked to guidance from the Father up above. Where are the men of England, the heroes brave and bold, the men who stood for faith and truth, whose honor wasn't sold? of England, when rape had so depraved, took the daughters of our nation, who forever they enslaved? What of the men of England that looked the other way? They took the country shilling, they never made their play. Where are the men of England, the heroes brave and bold, the men who stood for faith and truth, whose honor wasn't sold? Police and vice squad, they all seem quite amused, as at the hands of rape gangs our daughters were abused. The politicians blamed the lads who stood up one and all, but most of all blamed Tommy, who always took the fall. Where are the men of England, the heroes brave and bold, the men who stood for faith and truth, whose honor wasn't sold? For now we all must stand. The future of our children is still within your hand. The future not yet written for this green and pleasant land. The future of our children is still within your hand. The future not yet written for this green and pleasant land.
This morning, my friends, I asked a question. This morning. I said, where are the men of England? You're here! You're here! You're here!
Right, guys. Now I'm gonna find the song that that Jane was asking for, and I'm gonna play that. But I've got to say, well, I think that Tom Roberts. I think there's a lot of questions that we need to ask. For sure, about why certain people aren't backing Tommy. I really do believe that. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find this song. These songs. Hold on. Could be an easy way of doing it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add it and I'm going to remove it because I'm just going to have a little bit of a chat before I play it. I need to find the right one. There's a few different versions of it. I think it's that one. Okay. The heart of the wise inclines to the right, but the heart of the fool to the left. That's great, isn't it? That's great. I know. That is a brilliant one, Carl. I love that, man. Well done. That's a good one. I feel like my bubble has burst, so I truly understand what you say. Yeah, I think what this sort of stuff does, when you go through these trials, man, you just go, well, where do we go? Where do we go? And the only place you can go is to God. And I think that's what Jane is saying, and that's where I want to finish. I think where I just play this song, "Breathe on Me, Holy Spirit." We know the song very well if you've been watching my channel for a while, and I'm not despairing. I'm despondent. There's a difference. I'm despondent. I'm not despairing at all. I'm not going to despair. Richard, have you ever known a time in history when politics and country have been in such a kind of mess? I'm looking for a small light at the very... Do you know what? I thought we had a light at the end of the tunnel, and I still do. I think advance is the answer, but I think we could pray that whoever is in politics that is basically a wrong un gets removed from that political realm. I think we could pray for that. We're not praying for anything bad to happen to people, excuse me. We're just praying that the wicked will be vanquished. I think that's a right thing to pray for. But I've been offline for the Sabbath and don't know what the heck is going on in Tommy in hiding, Rupert splitting the right. Yeah, oh guys, I mean it's it's if you've missed it, yeah, I feel annoyed by it as well. I feel annoyed by it. Politics and corruption go together like a fist of... Yeah, I know. No, I'm not surprised by that, Rule Britannia. They're never going to respond to that sort of stuff. That's very true. The sun will shine at the end of all these issues. Can't leave the place unattended. Flipsig. That's right, you can't. You go away and you can't. No, like talk about stuff happening really quick. Guys, I'm going to play this song. I'm going to remove myself from the picture and just leave this running. Again, guys, thanks for all the super chats. Massively appreciated.
Breathe in me, oh Holy Spirit, that my thoughts may all be holy. Act in me, oh Holy Spirit, that my work too may be holy. Draw my heart, oh Holy Spirit, that I love but what is holy. Strengthen me, oh Holy Spirit, to defend all that is holy. Guard me then, oh Holy Spirit, that I always may be holy. Breathe in me, oh Holy Spirit, that my thoughts may all be holy. Act in me, oh Holy Spirit, that my work too may be holy. Draw my heart, oh Holy Spirit, that I love but what is holy. Strengthen me, oh Holy Spirit, to defend all that is holy. Guard me then, oh Holy Spirit, that I always may be holy. Breathe in me, oh Holy Spirit, that my thoughts may be holy. Draw my heart, oh Holy Spirit, that I know but one is holy. Strengthen me, oh Holy Spirit, to defend all that is holy. Guard me then, oh Holy Spirit, that I always may be holy. Breathe in me, oh Holy Spirit, that my thoughts may all be holy. Act in me, oh Holy Spirit, that my work too may be holy. Draw my heart, oh Holy Spirit, that I love but one is holy. Strengthen me, oh Holy Spirit, to defend all that is holy. Guard me then, oh Holy Spirit, that I always may be holy. Breathe in me, oh Holy Spirit, that my thoughts may all be holy. Act in me, oh Holy Spirit, that my word too may be holy. Draw my heart, oh Holy Spirit, that I know but one is holy. Strengthen me, oh Holy Spirit, to defend all that is holy. Breathe in me, oh Holy Spirit, let my thoughts may all be holy.
Well, guys, there we go. It's good to be back. Got a lot of soul searching to do. Got a lot of thinking to do about what to do with everything in terms of the channel, my political ventures. I'm definitely. I mean, the pledge to me. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be in politics. That's not strictly true. What I'm just going to say, I may not be party political, depending on what happens with Advance. I guess my thing is, if Advance are gonna, disappear or be swallowed up by something I don't like, I'm not going to join it. So I guess that summarizes what I'm trying to say. But I'm still going to keep doing the pledge. In fact, I'm going to do the pledge more than ever. I'm going to do UK Freedom Movement. I'm going to do the Christian channel that I've built, and I just, if Advance doesn't work, I ain't going to do party politics anymore. I don't know how we change things without party politics, but I cannot see Restore Britain being the answer to the problems that our country faces at all. I'm amazed that so many, to be honest with you, like, I'm really disappointed that so many people support them and don't support Ben. I mean, it just showed you. It's social media, I mean, and I'll be honest with you, I don't give two hoots what Elon Musk does. I don't care about Donald Trump. I don't care about anything that's happening at the minute outside of the UK. I care about Israel because of the Bible, and because I've always had a real soft spot in my heart for the Jewish people. But apart from that, I just want to see this great United Kingdom blessed and prospering. But the thing is, we haven't been behaving very great, have we? We've been doing all sorts of bad stuff. Yeah, okay, guys, I'm going to go. And God bless you all. Again, Jane, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support and your encouragement and encouraging me to play that song dedicated to the Holy Spirit. And we need God, guys. We need God. We need God. Even if you're an atheist, we need God. We always stand. I'm always going to stand with Israel as a Christian. Can't do anything else. Absolutely right, Shirley. We have nowhere else to go. We have nowhere else to go. Right, guys. God bless you all. See you very soon, and keep the faith. But like I say, you know, we're at a crossroads, and we need to pray.